Hello, it's Dan here. Let's talk about merchant tools, which is this section of Great Proxy. The difference between these two tools, which is merchant tools and cloud tools, is that merchant tools allow you only install proxy software on your own server. So basically, you can buy any VPS or just regular server from most of the providers, and you can turn this server or VPS into a proxy server. Cloud tools. For cloud tools, you can select provider, and Proxy will create a server for you, install the software, and then you can click on the button, and Proxy will remove the server for you. For merchant tools, once again, Proxy will only install the software, so it will not create a server and it will not remove the server. This is giving you extra, I would say, extra possibilities, since you can buy really somewhere VPS, or you may even use cloud providers. You can buy a server in any country, so you are not limited by these companies. So this is the difference. I just want to create an option that allow you to really add any server from any provider. That's why this option is here. So I have created 3 servers for this tutorial. I have bought 2 VPS on OVH. So these are these two, okay. And I have also bought one Linux server with IPv6 range. And I will show you in this tutorial how I will install all these 3. As you can see, this OVH VPS has 2 failover IPs. So I will also show you how to work with failover IPs in this tutorial. This VPS has no failover IPs, same as this another server. So how to buy OVH VPS, for example. Just go to OVH, sign up for an account, and once you are in OVH dashboard, just click on order and select virtual private server. Merchant tools may also work with dedicated server, okay, or even with their cloud solution. So, but in this tutorial, I will show you how to start using merchant tools with virtual private server. So just go to OVH and click on order, and now you can select VPS that you want to buy. I like to use this solution here for $3.50 per month. This price mean that you will pay $3.50 for a instance that has 2 gigs RAM, 20 gigs SSD, and bandwidth 100 megabytes per second, but with unlimited data transfer. Okay, OVH has no limited bandwidth which you can use per month, for example. So just click on order, and select distribution only, CentOS version 7, and select the data center you want to use. Okay, as you see, I am on ovhcloud.com, but we may go to other version of OVH. And if we go to other, localization of OVH, we can let's look on virtual private servers in different location. So I do the same thing, order, and as you see, you can select from different data centers, while on OVH cloud on American version, you can select only from American data centers. So you may need to have more OVH accounts. Once you are so basically, here you select where you want this VPS to be installed, what data center it will be. So for example, if you want to create two VPS in Windhill in North America, just select two, and then you will pay for these two VPS $7 a month. Every single virtual private server comes with one IPv4, one IPv6. So basically, if you buy just a VPS, then you will receive from every single VPS two proxies, two HTTP proxies. One is going to be IPv4 and one is going to be IPv6. You will also receive SOX5 proxy, FTP proxy, POP3 proxy. So once you are done, just click on continue and finish order. It will take few minutes, and then you will receive email, for example as I have received something like this, where you will find administrator account, username and password. This is what you will need. I have already pasted this username and password in my notepad file, so it is ready for me. Now you will also need for Merchant Tools IPv6 address and IPv6 gateway. These two things we will not receive in a email. So how to get these two things? Go to OVH dashboard and click on virtual private servers, and now open your virtual private server dashboard. And as you see, you have here IPv6 address of this virtual private server. So I have already added this IPv6 address to this field, and as you see, you can copy a gateway, which is most likely in this format. It's like IPv6 address with just one on the end. And now failover IPs. For this virtual private server, I have bought two failover IPs. So as you can see, these are two failover IPs that I have bought. And how to buy them, and what they are. Failover IPs basically, if you buy failover IPs, then your single virtual private server may be used with these additional IP addresses. So basically, Great Proxy turn these failover IPs into IPv4 proxies for you. And how to buy them? Just in the IP section, just click on these three dots, and then click on Manage My IPs. And as you see, I have here failover IPs, two of them. So you can buy more. You can buy like 16 for one virtual private server. Just click on Order Additional IPs. Select the virtual private server you want to buy additional IPs for. And select how many failover IPs you want to buy for this VPS. So if you want to buy 16, then just select 16. Here you can see that you will pay $3 per single additional IP address. But this is one-time fee, and you pay every month only $3.50 for instance for the virtual private server. You are not paying $3 every month. This is different on OVH because most other providers will charge you every month for additional IP addresses, while on OVH you pay for additional IP, or every single additional IP only one time. So just order additional IPs and wait for a confirmation email that these IPs has been added to your virtual private server. Once it will be done, you will see your failover IPs, just as I do right now. So that's how failover IPs works on OVH. I have already added my failover IPs here in a notepad. Merchant tools may be used with any other providers, not only with OVH. So I have created instance on Linode, just regular one for $5 a month, and for this instance I have requested them to get IPv6 range, because for Linode you will not receive IPv6 range by default. You have to request IPv6 range by support. So let's try to add our first merchant server in a Great Proxy. As you see, I have no merchant server, so I'm going to create one. And OVH virtual private server come with no IPv6 range. Basically, you will receive only one IPv6 address. Okay, so such a IPv6 address has no range, and it is not possible to generate multiple IPv6 proxies from this single IPv6 address. So for OVH, we have to use multi-proxy server. Linode comes with IPv6 range. This looks like this. It may look like this or like this. And we will use for the multi-proxy server generator. So for Linode we have no failover IPs, so we will just generate multiple IPv6 proxies with multi-proxy server generator. Okay, so let's start with OVH VPS 2, which has no IPv6 range and no failover IPs addresses. So just click on select template and continue. Insert the internal name. Set to price is optional, same as monthly price. You can select group or create new group. My server IP. So now we insert username, which we have received in email, and password. Okay, like this. Then you can select authorized IP addresses for direct access. You may leave this blank. This is if you want to use your proxies with out by IP, no out by login. So you can insert whitelisted IP addresses here. Now we have to insert IPv6 gateway. Okay, so this is our IPv6 gateway. Now IPv6 address. And then click next. We don't have for this virtual private server failover IPs, so we just leave this blank. And let's install the server. This may take a few minutes. Okay, our server has been installed. As you see, we have not received, Proxy has not received any data from this server. At the moment, we have to wait at least 1 minute. Okay, here we go. So our server is successfully installed, and we see some information about this virtual private server as CPU usage, load average, RAM usage, network speed, and all the information about the server. And probably what you want to see right now is the proxies of this virtual private servers. So just click on proxies. And as you see, we have HTTP IPv4 proxy, we have SOX5 IPv4 proxy, we have HTTP IPv6 proxy, we have FTP and POP3 proxy. All of these from just one IPv4 address and one IPv6 address. The IPv6 address that this server IPv6 proxy that this server will use looks like this. Let's try this this proxy. So I'm just going to copy the IP address of of this server. Okay, proxies, and since I have not whitelisted any IP address, so I'm going to use username and password. Okay, and let's try. It's pretty slow, but it's in the United States, so it is far from me. And let's try IPv6 proxy. So in Cray proxy, you are always using IPv4 address to use IPv6 proxies. So so don't be confused. And that's how our first server proxies work. Okay, so our first server is working normally, and let's try our second server with failover IPs. So again, add server, select template and continue. And here in failover floating IPs, we have to add our failover IPs. Okay, so this is the first one. This is the second one. Okay, so you may have 16, or you may have even more than 16, and just insert them on a separate row, as I do, or your failover IPs. I have only two, so my setup should be like this. And let's install this second server. Okay, our second server is installed. And it's working. We don't even need to wait. And let's look on proxies. And as you see, you have here more records than with our first server. This is because of your failover IPs. So you may use, as you see, you have these IPv4 address, then you have first failover IP address, which is different, and then you have this is the first floating IP failover IP, and this is the second failover IP we have added. So this is our setup. So let's try. I'm not going to try mine HTTP, or maybe I can just upload the file. Let me just, so let's security by login, and let's download all HTTP IPv4 proxies from list. So let's open this list. Basically we have 1, 2, 3, because mine IP address, first failover IP and second failover IP. And let's try all of these 3. So as you see, they are working. We can also try them with browser, but it's pointless since it will work. So that's how we can start using floating IPs. So now let's look on our Linode server with IPv6 range. So again, add server, multi-proxy server generator, let's create now you can select how many IPv6 proxies you want to create. So you can, but be careful, because you really need to have enough RAM. This instance is not really powerful since it has only 1 gig on RAM. Okay, so I think I can do 500 on such a instance. But you know, if you have like OVH or so you start dedicated server or any other dedicated server, you can with like 34 gigs on RAM or 64, 32 or 64, then you can run much more IPv6 proxies on such an instance. You can run really maybe 10,000, maybe more. So I'm fine with 500 for this cheap server. We have no failover IPs, and let's install. Okay, so our server has been installed. We need to wait again for verification that our server is working. And our server is ready. You may also see that you have SFTP storage. So, for example, if you have in OVH, you have 20 gigabytes of storage. So probably at least 10 gigabytes of this storage can be used by SFTP. On this instance, you can use 25 gigabytes of storage, and basically you can just use this address, username, password on this port, and you can start using this proxy server storage. So this will give you 25 gigabytes of space. Also, yes, it's correct. And let's look in the server on the proxies. So as you see, we have from our main server IP address, we have HTTP proxy, we have SOX5 proxy, we have FTP proxy, and we have POP3 proxy. And then we have 500 IPv6 proxies, because we have used proxy server generator. Okay, so let's try IPv4 first. So it's working, and now let's try our IPv6 proxies. As you see, every IPv6 proxy sits on a different port. No, I will not. It will take forever. Okay, let's stop this. And okay, I'm just going to close our list. Close. Okay, so we have 3 servers. As you see, Linode VPS 1 and 2. You can in the menu go to specific settings or a section of the server in dashboard. And what you can see here, you can see the traffic in the server dashboard. So basically, you see the data that has been proxied by your proxy, and kproxy is watching your servers. So for example, if you have like 500 servers, kproxy will tell you if there is a problem with any of your servers. Okay, you can also watch for processes. You can do the settings here. Okay, so let's go there. This is useful. For example, you may buy floating IPs or failover IPs once your server is installed, so you can add these failover IPs even if the server is already installed. You don't need to remove the server and install again. You can also whitelist IP addresses here. You can change the group, and you can regenerate IPv6 addresses. So you may want to generate 1000 or again 500. If we will just perform operation, without no changes, your proxies will be regenerated, and you will receive different IPv6 addresses for each port. So these IPv6 addresses will no longer work and will be replaced by different ones. Okay, we have incidents here, so if there is a problem, then you can see here in incidents. And monetization, but I will talk about monetization when I will do a tutorial for marketplace, since for every merchant server you can set different monetization, because for example, if I go to the marketplace just quickly, may see that there is hourly, daily, monthly and yearly price option. So in your merchant server you can set the price per hour, what you want, if you want to add your proxies on marketplace. So you can set here $1. That means for example here is set 90 cents, so it is like this. Or price per day. If you want to disable some options, just select 0, and you can also insert a number of parallel users that may be using every single proxy. So this is as if you set 1, then the proxies that will be sold with this server will be private. If you select like 10, then these proxies will be shared, because 10 users may use every single proxy in the same time. And yes, that's yeah. And for a marketplace, you can enable proxies for marketplace this way, that you just go to proxies, and here you can see the button. So you can just click on the button, and you can and the proxy will be added to marketplace automatically. So if I reload the page right now, I'm supposed to see this proxy in marketplace. So this is it in Philadelphia. Okay. And or you may add all these proxies to marketplace just by click on single button, or remove all of them from marketplace. You can also change password for some proxies. So if the password is this, you can change to something else. It will be working up to 3 minutes from your change. So as you see, the password is different for this proxy, and that's how you can work with the proxies. And on marketplace, if you have some earnings, then you will see these earnings in these two fields. And okay, let's look on auth management, because you can use auth management with all merchant servers. First I go to dashboard. So you can see that I have 3 servers at the moment, and let's try auth management with merchant proxies. So let's create a new category. And now you can just click on add merchant credentials, and you can select the server. I want to add credentials for Linode, and I want to add credentials for its IPv4 address, or you may want to add the credentials for your IPv6 addresses, since you have 500 of them. So you can select them here. Okay, let's try the IPv6. So I just select some. You can select the automatic expiration. Look like, yeah, it's working. You can select automatic expiration. Automatic expiration means that this credential will work only for a definite number of hours. So if you select 1, then it will work just for 1 hour. If you select 0, then it will work for unlimited long. There is no automatic. If you select 0, then you will disable automatic expiration. If you select, for example, 24, then this means that this credentials will expire in 1 day. And you can also select how you want to secure these credentials. You can secure them by IP address, or you can select them by login. I recommend you to use login since it's faster. And you can insert username and password for these credentials, and then just save. So as you see, this proxy will expire in 23 hours. And let's try if it's working. It may take like 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes. So as you see, our out management credentials are working for a merchant server, so that's how you can use out management. Once you don't need these credentials, you can just remove them. You can create as many credentials as you want, and that's all for out management and merchant servers. I will now remove one of the servers. I will remove the server with no failover IPs, so VPS 2, because in next video I'm going to show you how, because I will remove this server and I will use this server as a router instead of proxy server. So in next video I will show you how this server may be used as a router, what is router and how routers work. So I'm just going to quickly remove this server. And see you in next video, where you will find how to use routers.